Minasan, Aqours Nasai. Today I will be recapping everything, well, hopefully everything that happened in the LoveLive franchise in 2024, including songs, lives, guest appearances, and anime from all the groups. Now, a year is a long time, and I'm just one person, so I'm bound to have forgotten something important. I hope not, but if so, feel free to mention it down below. Alright, let's just get right into it. This year, again, had another big stream with girls from multiple groups playing some sort of card game. I forget the exact title, and of course the archive is gone. Well, I can't find it at least, but anyway, this time all 5 groups were present, with Kyon and Emmy coming back from last year. Actually, I found a subtitled video, and it wasn't a card game, but a wordplay game. Emmy is a national treasure as always, and Liella really showed everyone that the first letter in their name is L. Also, shoutouts to Ida breaking the Yohane figure during a different livestream early in the year. It's funny because they were actually worried about Furihata breaking the figure, so they had her stay at the table. Other things to mention would be Kuma, Furi, and Onishi having a monthly LoveLive radio program, sometimes having other guests on as well. Early next year will actually give us a debut track, and probably the only track from a new group known as Ice Cream, consisting of the 3 girls I just mentioned, the title track being the same as the group name, and the group name meant to be an onomatopoeia of the pronunciation of the word ice cream. But it's spelt more like I scream, and the capital letters are the members' initials, A for Ayumu, S for Shiki, and R for Ruby. Pretty sure the soundtrack album for last year's Idolmaster crossover event came out this year, and My Girl Volume 39 featured a member from each unit, just like last year. And now we start the big stuff with the LoveLive Anime 10th Anniversary events, the special talk session, as well as the kickoff meeting at the end of February. Then the orchestral live at the end of March, all shows having 6 of the Muse girls. Real shame it wasn't all 9, but I'm sure Sora is busy, Nanjo probably doesn't really want anything to do with the franchise anymore, and Chika has said that she doesn't want to participate unless it's all 9 of them. And then in the summer was the first of the overseas events, this one to celebrate the 10th anniversary as well. Taipei in June, Seoul in July, and Guangzhou in August. All shows only having Emmy and Pyle. The unit Koshian was a big fun event, having every single subunit from the franchise all together for one big show, with Hinaki actually serving as one of the MCs and announcers for this event, even giving us some special collabs, and Saint Aqua Snow performing for the first time in like 5 years. The event unfortunately didn't have Akari or Kanako at all, Akari having prior commitments and Kanako being still a little scared to perform. I'm pretty sure it was stated that anything involving Azalea triggers her sickness. So that was unfortunate, but also Mayu and YP were also only there for 1 day each, again due to prior commitments, the Niji girls being so busy. Much later in the year was the Asia tour. 2 shows in China in October, the Guangzhou show only having all of Liella, and Shanghai having all of them, but also YYY from Aqua. Oh, there's more, I didn't notice the comma, silly me. There was also Mayu, Shu, and Akina from Niji, and for the first time in a long time, Emmy, Uchi, and Pyle from Muse. Now, I know I just said some of them performed earlier in the year, but this was like a full-on actual live show rather than like just small orchestral stuff or fan meets. Still with this Asia tour, in Taiwan in November, they only had YYY. Korea in December, having Aguri, Natsumi, Koko, Chiemi, Moipi, and Shuchan. And then next year, early on, will be the final show in Yokohama, Japan, having all of Hasu, all of Liella, YYY, Aguri, Kaori, Miyu, Koko, Maria, and Chemi, as well as Emmy, Uchi, and Pyle. That is going to be a crazy show. A brand new song called Bring the Love was created and released just for this overseas event as well. Next up, the School Idol Musical had another 10-day show in mid-January and are set to have more shows in February and April of 2025. Expanding the franchise even more, we had the live-action LoveLive drama show having Akari Yura from D4DJ. Also Julia An and Nanami Asai, who are actually in the musical as well as the same characters, with this drama actually being a retelling of the musical, so there may even be other girls that are in both series. I'm just unfamiliar with most of them. For the penultimate franchise thing here, Aqua, Liella, and Hasu, the brand names basically, but I guess some of the girls as well, are now officially managed under the label Star Rise, which itself is under the Bandai Namco company. I'm pretty sure Atlantis was also already under Bandai Namco, so nothing really changed. A little confusing that they didn't include Niji, but okay. But also I'll have a little more info on this in the next video, as 3 different Liella members debuted as solo acts under this label. And finally, as always, baseball. Lots and lots and lots of baseball. It's funny how most people assume that sumo is the most popular thing in Japan, but it's actually baseball, like by a lot. and from what I read up on, sumo was actually kind of frowned upon because of the whole obesity thing. Anyway, where's the basketball collabs? Now let's begin the group-specific stuff with the mermaids, Aqua. Ida, Furi, and Kyan were at Japan Weekend in Madrid, Spain. Some of the girls repped the group at the Winter Chojigen Music Festival, and more of them being at the Tokyo Idol Festival. There was the Numazu Jimo Eye Festival in mid-September, 3 days, splitting the girls into 3 groups. You'd think it would have been easier to just do the subunits, but day 1 had Aina, Kyan, and Keen. Day 2 was Ida, Sua, and Furihata, and finally day 3, naturally, had Anju, Shuka, and Arisa. Shuka unfortunately missing out on this event due to a stomach illness, so we got this thing instead. And now that I think about it, it probably wasn't the subunits because of Keen's sickness and Azalea kind of being a trigger word for it. Anyway, let's keep things positive. YYY had a new single, Peace Peace Pizza, the first piece meaning peace and love, and the second piece being a piece of pizza. A little play on the fact that they ordered pizza one time during a live show. Actually, I'm pretty sure they've ordered pizza multiple times at events. These 3 ladies also had 3 live shows, one of them even being in Numazu, which in case if you forgot is important because that's where their story in the lore takes place. As for other music, Deep Blue, coupled with Sakura Saku Kokoro Saku, also having Bokura no Umi de Mataao, and the very recent IQ Hours, coupled with Bokura no Tabi wa Ora Ranai. Oh, and I almost forgot that Aqua released another live-action music video. And then August began the 4th solo concert albums, starting with Chica, of course, and will be released on each girl's respective birthday until July of 2025, where Yoshiko, Yohane, will end the releases. These will be called Story of Sunshine, by the way. Each collection always has a subtitle for all the albums. And now time for the sad news that we all saw coming. The ladies announced their final live, and thus the group's somewhat disbandment. It has been stated that it's not like a full ending, it's just aren't likely that we are to see all 9 girls together on stage again. I would say the only exception will be some sort of big anniversary event that will happen within the next few years. The final live, also titled IQ Hours by the way, will be held on June 21st and 22nd of 2025 at Balloona Dome. A very fitting place, that's basically their home field at this point, and it's going to be sad, but it's also going to be really hype, and I'm really looking forward to it. Prior to that though, also in 2025, some of the girls will again be at the Chojigen Festival, also known as Beyond the Dimension Fest by the way, and there will be another Numazu Fest, though no dates for that have been revealed yet, but obviously I'm sure it will be before June 21st. Next up are the Aqua Juniors, Nijigasaki School Idol Club, and let's start off with the release of Part 1 for their final chapter movie trilogy. Even though this is the final chapter, I assume we will get 1 movie per year, so we still got 2 years of it. Whenever that final movie airs, it may actually also announce the finale of Nijigasaki as a whole. Like I said, still at least 2 or 3 years out. Back to 2024, Aguri, Coco, Mayu, and Maria represented the group at Anime Japan. Then Maria and Chiemi promoted the movie over in Thailand. Chiemi and Coco went over to Seattle in America for SakuraCon, representing Niji of course. And then Shu, Homin, and Mayu became the new hosts of the Nijigaku radio show. Towards the end of last year and the beginning of this year was their 6th live, I Love You, You Love Me, which is a great title, very fitting. Even singing the Japanese version of Santa Claus is Coming to Town during this, and I thought that was really cool. Later in the year was the 7th live, New Tokimeki Land, and I got a little fun fact for this one too. Having their very first on-stage costume change during the Day 2 encore, taking off the Victory Road jackets and revealing the new costumes underneath. But also shoutouts to Mia having the wrong name on Day 1. New music includes the track New Year's March, coupled with Radio Taiso Daiichi, also Nijigasaki Gaku and Koka. These being listed as singles of course, but they also had a new album for the first movie. Basically just serving as the soundtrack album, but also having a few songs from the girls as well, like from Maeda, Kito, and Sashide. There were 2 instrumental-only albums for most of the original solo songs, as well as the Nijigaku bonus track collection Volume 2 having a song from each subunit, finally allowing us to have Look At Me Now from Rebirth. Absolute banger. Like, total banger. Last up was the EP Doku ni Ite mo Kimi wa Kimi, having the title track and 5 solo songs from some of the girls, those being Shizuku, Kanata, Emma, Lonzu, and Ayumu. Next year's Year of the Snake will give us another fan meet tour, which will be titled Nijigaku Kogai Gaku Show, having 6 different 2-day shows in 6 different prefectures from April till August, having 4 different girls for each show, and it looks like everyone will have at least 2 shows each, aside from Hinaki who will not be at any. And as for music, well, we already know that every single month will feature a new single and coupling track from each of the 12 girls, starting with Mia, whose title has already been revealed, and it will end with Lanzu. Now the sparkling ladies Liella, let's start off with their anime, Season 3 of Superstar, the only group to have a third season so far, though you could argue Niji's movie trilogy would serve as a third season. Liella actually being the only group without a movie right now, excluding Hasu no Sora of course. And one more little fact, the third season of Superstar has the highest rating out of any LoveLive season or movie. Could be a recency bias though, but I have thought Superstar was one of the better seasons, like Sunshine. Anyway, back to the recap. Catchy went over to America for Anime NYC. Kaleidoscore was at Chojiken in the summer, and all of them were guests at Chojiken in the winter. They had a performance on Fuji TV on 2 separate occasions, at Music Hammer, Tokyo Idol Fest, and also on NHK, where they bumped into their senpai, Moika Koizumi. They were also at the Animax Fall Edition, and shoutouts to their cover of the Sailor Moon opening with Aina Suzuki, and then just themselves covering New Genesis from One Piece Film Red. They posted a whole bunch of new dance practice videos. Kind of odd that they're the only group in the franchise to do this. On a side note, whatever happened to the animated music videos? It's been years since we got the last one, and I'm pretty sure Niji and Liella only have one each. The ladies had a photo shoot with Young Jump, naturally, being the beauties that they are, and recently 3 of them were on the cover for an Anipass magazine. As for live shows, 5th Live Twinkle Triangle, 2 two-day shows in January and February. Then the Big Prime Adventure Fan Meet Tour, 7 shows, 2 for each subunit, and then 1 big finale, all happening from May till August. And let's end their section with music as well. Naturally, with a new season of the anime, that means a lot of new music. Let's Be One serving as the opening, coupled with Seishun Hoppers, Daisuke Full Power being the ending, coupled with Within a Dream. Then, like always, they release episode-specific versions of new tracks, the second version always coupled with a new track. So as you can see here, we have Bubble Rise and Special Color, with the third track on each of them being different. There was also Zettai Techie Lover with Dazzling Game, then Egao no Promise with Superstar. As you can see, those actually not being released for another week or so, although you can actually get them by themselves right now, rather than being coupled together. Prior to the anime, they also had Shakira coupled with Fantastic and Watashi no Symphony, which are old bangers, but also Ai Kotoba, the new theme for their fan club. With these subunits, as you can see here, each group had a small EP with 2 new tracks each, then their own versions of What a Wonderful Dream, all releasing on the same day, and as always, Synchronize has the best music. In the year of 2025, 9 of them will be at Chojiken, just missing Nagi and Yuina. They will also have their 6th full live, Let's Be One, 5 two-day shows from March till June. And there will also be a re-release of Hajimari wa Kimi no Sora, their first single, but this one having all 11 members. And last up, we have Hasu no Sora, the new era Nijigasaki. That's not fair though, we shouldn't compare them, even if the parallels are a little too much. Anyway, let's start off with their 3 new members, all serving as the 104th class of Hasu no Sora Gakuen, or just the new first years. Ginko Momose, portrayed by Hina Sakurai, part of Cerise Bouquet, having the Heaven's Blue image color and I guess serving as the leader for this new trio. Fuka Hayama portrays Kosuzu Kachimachi, joining Orchestra and having the image color of a Brightest Star Yellow. Last up would be Rin Kurusu, a name some of you may already know prior to LoveLive. She portrays Hime Anyoji, with the sugar purple color and part of Mirakura Park. I actually made shorts about these girls and even the original 6 throughout the year, so go check those out for a more quick introduction to them. And in 2025, I will be making a full video about the group as a whole, and a follow-up video of the Seiyu, since individual videos on them is too early, but I feel this is also a good time to just introduce them to everyone. So look out for that maybe around March or April. Now let's continue with their year and concerts. They had their second live, Blooming With, 2 shows each in Chiba and Hyogo, April and May respectively. Day 2 of the Chiba live, during Kokono's solo song, she had some mic troubles, or maybe she messed up her vocal tone. Whichever it was, there was like 40 seconds where she straight up just broke character and was like, hey, can we restart this? Which they did, and somehow she had the same issue, so after a short break and the crowd chanting her name, she came back and did the whole song. 3rd time's the charm, right? Also keep in mind she's like 17 years old, but she kept her cool and gave a great performance. Then the Hyogo shows actually had the 3 new girls on for a few songs near the end. In the summer, actually around my birthday in fact, they had a public radio recording event where a few songs were also performed. This event mostly focused on Mirakura Park, having Orchestra as a guest on day 1 and Cerise Bouquet as a guest on the 2nd day. A month later was the Hasu no Sora Girls High School Club 103rd Fest Rec Live First Crossing. That is a mouthful, having the original 6 members being a 2-day show, but the second day actually had 3 separate performances. And it was actually announced recently that there will be a bonus performance of this show in late January 2025. Last for their concerts, their 3rd live tour, Try Unity. 5 shows total starting in November. The first 3 being focused on each subunit, the 4th one being a fan meet, and the 5th one, which will actually be early January, will have all of Hasu no Sora. As for music, there is a lot, them being the new girls. I'm sure the company wants them to catch up to the existing groups. Let's start off with the club as a whole and the EP Link to the Future. The lead track, Trick and Cute, being an absolute banger. This was also coupled with Tsubasa La Liberté, and the title track actually being credited as all subunits rather than the club as a whole. Some Xiaozelia Kiss stuff right there. The ladies also had Dakishimeru Hanabira, coupled with Step Up. They re-released Dream Believers along with No Euphoria and On Your Mark, which is another banger by the way. These versions having the 3 new girls. And this EP was coupled with a new track from each subunit. The latest release from the girls was Bloom the Smile, Bloom the Dream, coupled with 365 Days. As for subunits, aside from the 3 new tracks with the new ladies I just mentioned, there was an EP called Special Thanks / Aoto Shoben / Milk, which was just the names of the new songs from Cerise Bouquet, Orchestra, and Miracle Park respectively. In the same order, another EP recently released, being Hana Musubi, Birdcage, and Josho Kiryu. There was also the triple track Colorfulness, Happy Shijo Shugi, and Pleasure Feather. These 3 songs actually having the girls shuffle their units around, as you can see on the cover, with the units even having their own new names. With Mirakura Park in particular, they also had the EP Ishin Denshin, being the lead track, coupled with Bang You Gravity and Mahara Jamboree. Also having the track Fanfare, coupled with a newer version of Identity. Orchestra only had Proof, coupled with a new version of Sparkly Spot, then Cerise Bouquet being in the same situation, only having Tsukiyomi Karage with a newer version of Reflection in the Mirror. Pretty sure they gave Miracle Park more spotlight this year because they received a little less than the other 2 last year. In 2025, they will have the song Key of Like, coupled with Now or Never, along with another untitled 5th single, both releasing in February, then a special album a few weeks after that, and all subunits will have a new track in March as well. Last up for them, they were on the cover of Seiyu Grand Prix magazine in July. And just a bonus little quick thought here, no anime for them yet, though I would heavily assume it will happen next year, or at the very least, we will get the announcement for it. And with that, we have actually reached the ending. I'll just skip the closing thoughts since this video already had a lot to digest. So if you enjoyed and or found this helpful, please do like and maybe even subscribe. Definitely join me in the next video where I will be going over the yearly events for every seiyuu in the franchise, even the Muse Girls. It is going to be very big, so don't miss out, and I look forward to seeing you there.